Hello. Hi, it's good to be here again. All right, and I'm excited, super duper excited to be here actually, because it's my very first video since I put to bed some days ago. I mean, it's so good to be in front of the camera again. It's like 1 week or 2 weeks. All right then, so in this video I'll be sharing with you 5 life lessons I learned from the labor room. I mean, yeah, every pregnancy is different, every labor is different, every delivery is different, every baby is different, I know, but I have stopped seeing experiences, and occurrences in my life as just normal and usual. I have come to own my story, that whatever it is I go through is supposed to help somebody that would be in a similar situation, or that may find themselves in a similar situation sometime soon. So that's why I share my experience, my life lessons easily and freely, knowing that someone somewhere will catch something from it. So I hope you catch something from this 5 lessons that I learned from the labor room. All right, so a bit of a background story. Weeks before I put to bed, I've been having this constant contraction, such that, it would come so regularly in a day. I would think that day is the day I will put to bed. But it's called Braxton Hicks. It comes like like a regular contraction, but it's just come and go. All right, so it's false labor, and and some women have this from their 7th week, from the 7th month even to the 8th month, but I began to have mine from like 36th or 37th week or something. By the time we're getting so close to the EDD, as the expected days of delivery, I was thinking that this baby would come earlier, because my last baby, my son, came at 38 weeks. So I was really hopeful that this guy would come earlier as well. But unfortunately, 39 weeks nothing, 40 weeks nothing, and then the doctor, advised we have an induction, and I was skeptical. I was like, not that. But I knew I had to go with what was best for my health and for the baby, because it is said that the older the baby gets, the more the fetal death rate and everything occurs. So but the funny thing was that the constant contraction that was happening for like 3 weeks before was nothing, as the result was nothing, as opposed to the active labor I fell into within just 30 minutes and the results that came from it. So this video is about those the preceding occurrence, and then the the labor itself, and then the delivery. All right, so the first lesson I learned from this whole thing was that when things are not going as smoothly as they should in whatever area of your life, seek help. And I mean professional help. Don't just assume that you get the answers on Google. Don't just assume that you get the answer from someone's mouth, anyhow. Whatever you have to do to get this help, seek it and get it. Of course, it's come at a price, yes, but we'll be willing to pay, because the result you would get will be far more than whatever it is that you've been struggling with. Okay? The results you would get would give you, put in a better position, in a better mental state of mind than you would have been if you had remained in that place of problems and everything. You understand what I'm saying? So don't just hope, get help. I had to seek professional help. That, okay, what is happening? It's 40 weeks already. It's what's happening, and I was told, I did the whole test, everything was fine, fetal heart rate was good, my BP, everything was fine, but the baby was simply taking its time. However, I was getting more and more uncomfortable. To sleep was getting unbearable. To breathe, to eat, heartburn, everything was getting so unpleasant. So I had to seek help. And seeking help, I got help. All right. So, and the help that was preferred, I did not like it. It was an induction. I did not love it. And that takes me to my second lesson, which is your fears are not real. My fear was that, it's painful usually. You go through hell. You to go through stress. I had to start nursing that fear. I spoke with different women who were my friends, and they all gave me different stories. Some will say, 5 minutes it will happen. Or, my own, I spent 24 hours. The thing did not work. I pained me. And I still did CS. I'm like, this is the rent section. Oh my goodness. But later on, when I saw that, I was hearing different stories. And I saw that I did not have facts about my fears. And that was the more reason why the fear had a hold on me. What did I do? I went on to do my research. And I saw that every woman reacts differently to induction. So what did I do? I said, you know what? I will own my own story. I will face my own fears. And I will make the very best of the process. And that was what I did. The moment induction began in the early hours of the day before, I began to do the things I knew I would do normally. I held my coaching calls. I had clients who had booked me, who were appointed to meet. I held 2 coaching calls that day. I read. I had a book with me. I read. I watched videos like I would do normally. And most of the time I bonded with my husband. He was around, so we had time to gist, reminisce. As in, we just we bonded more. My point is, whenever you have anything that you are afraid of, face it. Get facts about it and ask yourself if truly you want to be held back. If the fear of the pain that you envisage is worth more than the joy, than the peace, than the results you would get. Ask yourself these questions. That was what I did. And I saw that, it was not worth it. The inconvenience I was facing, the health challenges that may come my way was, getting rid of them was worth whatever fear, whatever pain I would go through in those hours, the uncertainty, and that was it. So I held my coaching calls, did the things I should have done, and everything went well eventually. Okay? The third thing was that you need a support system. Now, don't get it wrong. Don't even try to think that you can do things by yourself. No, you cannot. You need to have a support system. Either it's your husband, it's your wife, your spouse, it's your kids, it's your in-laws, your parents, your siblings. You need to have people, or at least someone who would be a pillar with, around you in times of trouble. You need a support system. If you don't have, get one. And one way to get one is to be one for someone. Yes, reach out and be a support system to someone too. I had a friend. I have a friend. She was my bridesmaid, or maid of honor, whichever one they call it. And she's also my prayer partner. And during that period, I had to reach out to her more often and often. Pray with me, Tayo. Pray with me. This is what is happening. And she was a support system for me. Even the gist we had and everything. I also had my husband with me. He was chatting with me, gisting. We're playing. We would get angry. We would play. Everything was happening. But I was not by myself. So this helped me to a large extent to be normal. So you need to find your support system. It does not have to be those you expect it to be from. It must not be your parent. It must not be your spouse. It must not be people that you expect it to come from. Reach out to somebody and get support. It is important that you have support. The fourth thing is that the process may be painful, but the result is surely worth it. I mean, when the induction took place, and within 30 minutes, everything was barely 30 minutes. When it came heavily upon me, oh my goodness, I'm like, oh, this is it. The vibration, the pain, everything, like this is it. But I knew that in all that, there was one thing I promised I would not do, which I didn't even do for my previous baby, and that was to shout. Because I knew that shouting and crying would amount to nothing. I have come to realize that it's best you channel your energy towards productive things only. So don't engage in unnecessary cries, unnecessary chats, unnecessary whining and all that, or complaining. Don't. Rather, go through the pain, knowing with the assurance that the results will be worth it. And in my case, the moment I was, the moment I was wheeled to the delivery room and I was told, push. I told the midwife that, okay, with the next contraction, I will push. She said, yes. I wasn't the first time mom anyway, so I knew that. So I held on again for the next one to happen. The moment I did the first push, I felt the head come out. Then instant again, I did with the second one, with that same contraction, the second one, and the shoulders came out. And all the pains, oh my goodness, all the stomach, everything just came out with the baby. There was this ease, there was this peace, there was this serenity that fell upon me, on my soul, or whatever. I had this joy, and I just knew that it was over. I mean, for a moment there, I could just breathe. So I peeped and I looked at him like, okay, see, now you be that. Is that you? It was just awesome. And so my point is, the process most likely is painful, but the result is worth it. So go through the pains. Go through the pains. Don't shout it. Don't sweat it. Don't overanalyze it. Don't cry over it. Go through the pain, because the result is going to be worth it. That's the fourth lesson I learned in the labor room. Now, the fifth and the most important one was that after the baby had come out, he came out some minutes before 8 a.m. Maybe like 2 or 3 minutes, approximately 8 a.m. And by 8:05, we were still trying to get the placenta out. 8:10, we were still there. The midwife was asking me to cough, cough a bit. I was trying to push. She said, don't push, just cough. 8:15, we were still there, and she was beginning to sweat in the AC. And then she asked a nurse to call the doctor. The doctor came. They said that the placenta was attached to the uterus. And I've heard such cases before, because once you can't cut it off, the bleeding would be is it unmanageable or something. One of the options is to carry out the uterus in totality, so as to avoid bleeding to death or something, or CS will come up straight. So in my heart I was thinking, if I had this baby within 30 minutes, if I almost had the baby in the waiting room, in the normal room. In fact, I felt the head of the baby there, and I was just rushed to the delivery room. I said, if that one can happen within 30 minutes, and then now placenta is taking almost 30 minutes as well to come out, I was getting worried. And I'm like, I had to turn to the only person I know that could do it, the only person my faith was attached to, that my faith was held on to. And I said, God, do this. And then the woman said, okay, please call the gynae. The gynae was not around. And this was around 8:20, 8:25. And then I felt the woman. She held her gloved hands together like this. She had her hands like this. And then she said a prayer. I could hear her muttering for like a minute. And then she said, in Jesus' name I pray. Now, this is not me imposing my faith on you. This is just me saying that there's always a super being, which, if your faith is attached to, your faith will move mountains. And then she said a prayer, and I said, amen. And she just pressed my tummy from the top. She pressed all the way. And without coughing, without pushing, I felt the whole lump of blood come out at 8:30. And then when the nurses came, doctors said, everything is fine. Everything is fine. And I was cleaned up. My point, the very fifth lesson I learned from the labor room is that when all else fails, your faith will make you whole. That's it. So I hope you've learned something from this 5 lessons that life taught me, or that labor room taught me. And I believe that if you're in any of such situation, please try to go through these 5 steps again and then see. I trust that. I know every labor is unique, every baby is unique, yes. But like I said, I have stopped taking my occurrences or my experiences for granted. I know that somebody somewhere would benefit from this. If you have, leave a comment. subscribe to my channel for more inspiration, motivation, and more money talks. Yeah, I do money talks, business, entrepreneurship. Yes, this is just a one-off one, and I hope that you have gained something from it. All right. Now, if there's one thing I would miss from being pregnant, that's the VIP treatment. I get, like, I'm on the queue, like, madam, come. Like, in my house, I can't move things too heavily. You can't sweep, you can't bend, you can't stay too much in the kitchen. You're like, I'm gonna miss all that. But hey, I got the joy of my baby. He's sleeping right now. He's sleeping, yeah. I got the joy of having to hold my baby. I'm like, okay, I'll sacrifice all that for all this. Alright then, thank you for watching. Have a good time. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, alright, and catch me later. Bye.